It's my favorite time of the year, Steam Next Fest, baby. While I love indie horror games more than nearly any other genre, I won't deny that there is an endless supply of chaff on the marketplace. So I figured it might be helpful to pull out a few gems to help save people some time sifting through it all themselves. So here are 13 indie horror games to check out this Steam Next Fest.
Ooh, 13, spooky number.
You like the ocean? No, not that one. This ocean. Yeah, neither do I. But you need a job and these guys are hiring. So why not do your part and help keep the lights on by protecting all those underwater cables from the creatures of the deep? In a location that is far less exciting than Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Sorry, I have to get people's attention again, you know? They're trigger words. They're trigger words. This game has you using not just monitors, but a radar, flares, and a general repairman's get-her-done attitude to protect your submersible from sharks. Yeah. And unlike other task-juggling games, this one actually feels well-balanced. Like, it's not too hard or it's not ridiculously easy. It's a really good one. Quick bonus game, LUNAR DESCENT. Small one, so it didn't feel quite right putting it on the list, but it's a spot the difference game with a very similar theme to this one, just in space. This one's first on my personal list for style alone. The dour 1-bit black and white tones with bizarre animations instantly caught my attention. The gameplay centers around you diving into ruins to gather oxygen canisters for The Company, a strange conglomerate that seems to be creeping its way into nearly every horror game these days. Why is that? Why? Each movement from the tile-based exploration runs down your energy, but, counter to what the grid-based movement system might suggest, the enemies you come across attack in real time, killing you in a single blow. Which creates a fun, intense juggling between calculated pathing and reflexive attacks. And the story seems to be presented in a sort of mystery adventure type way. If you're looking for a more aggressive style of horror, then this next one might be more your speed. Trigger Happy Interactive's previous title was Turbo Overkill, a boomer shooter that was received pretty damn well. So I'm not worried about how the combat is going to feel on this one, but regardless, horror is probably a step out of the comfort zone for these guys.
It's not how I remembered it. It's strange. The longer I stay, the more I start to believe that maybe I never left.
The different settings and scenes that they've shown off have been really creepy and eerie, but nothing quite gives off the feeling that it'll be a particularly terrifying experience. So while the themes look amazing, I doubt there'll be too many clips of screaming streamers popping up for this one. Never mind, it's coming out in VR. Ever since the success of Amnesia the Bunker, I've been craving another good anti-war horror game. And it looks like the devs who made No One Lives Under the Lighthouse are going to be delivering that in the near future. They appear to be going for the same style of their previous games, so expect fun environmental storytelling and long, high-tension walks. Or maybe even drives this time. The somber tone for this one will likely be unparalleled by anything else on this list. Love their previous game, so I'm excited to see what new things they come up with in this one. A more colorful type of horror, Red Knight has you playing the role of 3 separate characters: a disgraced scientist, an unemployed radio hobbyist, and a KGB captain. All in different locations within the same city, solving puzzles and communicating with one another to figure out what's going on outside. This is another one on the list that doesn't appear to be built to scare, but I wouldn't doubt its premise is setting up for some uniquely tense moments. And as a side note, if this one's piqued your interest, take a little game called Killer Frequency. I promise you will not regret it. Out of Sight brings a unique perspective to its first person... Oh, third person? What? They're calling it second person. Okay, it's really giving Little Nightmares vibes with the style, and looks to be primarily a puzzle platformer in that same way. At the time of writing, the demo still isn't up on Steam, so don't know what's up with that. But I guess it's a fully realized version of an itch.io game of the same name. That one was released a few years ago, so if you really want to try this out and the demo isn't up on Steam by the time this comes out, head to the link in the description and check out the old one. If you've not had the joys of experiencing working for Amazon yourself, this might be a good substitute. You play as the packaging operator of a rather unregulated warehouse, where you're tasked with receiving an order, noting its location, sprinting out of your cozy shipping container to collect the product while avoiding your piss break coordinator, and returning safely to pack and ship off those vital products. Oh, and there's a cat you can, like, take care of. It actually acts as sort of a timer for how long you're allowed to be out of your shipping container, because if you take too long, it'll die of sadness. That's what happens. That's not a joke. That's And as you could probably tell from the footage, I already played this one and loved it. That's some money right there. 30 bucks in my pocket, and all I had to risk was you. I cannot wait for the full release. And, well, you know, if you happen to be in the market for a new streamer, I know they're hard to come by these days. I stream on YouTube and Twitch, 5 p.m. Pacific every day. Okay, it's over. It's okay. You're okay. It was just a plug. At least it wasn't like a honey ad. You'll be fine. You've just come into a fresh new town to open up your practice and replace the previous town doctor who died or something. I'm sure it's not important. But you need to use your advanced medical knowledge of how to balance the 4 humors in any of the townsfolk who come to you looking for help with their ailments. You'll have to take what they're telling you, how they look, their reported allergies, and all sorts of other aspects into account in order to cure them. Though, if some specific individuals end up mysteriously falling to their diseases despite the efforts of the best doctor in town, it's certain to make at least the Undertaker some extra coin, and who's to say you two don't embark on a business venture together? And to toss on another spinning plate, there are mysterious creatures disguising themselves amongst the townsfolk. So, if you happen to notice anything unusual, another quick visit from your new business partner would be making the town a safer place. This is another one that I've played ahead of the next fest and really enjoyed, so please give it a look. And on the topic of Lovecraftian horrors, STYGIAN. STYGIAN. Boardnat. What does Stygian mean? How do you pronounce that?
Stygian.
Huh. The trailers for this one don't seem to give away too much about what the game is. It's just an old man smoking a pipe, which wasn't enough for me to put it on the list. But then, I saw that it was based on the lore that's built in a completely separate game made by completely separate developers, too. The game was a Lovecraftian RPG that got mixed reception, and I'm just really surprised someone would do a follow-up from a completely different game that didn't do well. I just have no idea what level of quality this one's gonna end up being, so it's, yeah, I'm curious. This is the curiosity pick. And my NIMA has you playing a girl who is trapped in a basement trying to convince her mother that you are NIMA. Nothing in the trailer or game description says why you're trying to convince her or what you could be. Maybe a body snatcher, parasite, failed clone, or, you know, maybe you are NIMA and you just bonked your little baby head and you forgot, who knows? A premise like this is fun enough on its own, but the gameplay looks so unique. You know those word combination games, the ones where combining words would get you a new word that was a combination of the concepts? The gameplay functions similarly to that, except in combining 2 terms, it pops out related concepts. Or memories? It's hard to tell exactly from the trailers alone, but here's what I'm seeing. Where in the classic word combo game, if you combined mom and dad, you might get child or family. In this game, you would combine mom and dad and get yelling, scared, car, hinting at a memory of sorts. And that is just such an insane style of storytelling that I haven't seen before. I am hyped for this one. This one's another modern job game, but this time you play a park ranger filing reports on your work computer during your night shift. During your night shift, you're in tight communication with a few other park rangers that come and visit you every so often, along with some other curious individuals. And as is expected for a horror game, the incoming reports get stranger and stranger. Odd sounds can start to be heard just outside your cabin door, and unclear radio calls begin to come in from unknown sources. On the surface, this one looks a little quaint, but I've already experienced the demo, and it surprised me with the level of polish to both the visuals and storytelling. And it left me itching for the full release. it is still a job horror game, but this time you man a lighthouse and radio to help those who are docking to come ashore safely. Except, not everyone who is trying to come ashore is to be trusted. It's up to you to determine if the incoming ships are truly manned by those with good intent. And of course, you have to manage your sanity as some of those voices on the radio take their toll on you. It's another Papers, Please style game that's sure to be a fun, spooky time. Was really impressed during a previous Next Fest about this one. They just recently dropped a release date and confirmed a demo is coming. They didn't specify if it would be here in time for Next Fest, but if it isn't, I'd still keep an eye out for this one. It's another game. It's about corporate horror. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the list. I hope I made it kind of entertaining. And if you found anything that you liked, you know what to do. And if you didn't find anything, well, then you can keep it to your f***ing self.